Hello and welcome back to A to B Two Sides podcast with your host Yoel Yanyuk, where we are bridging divine minds to shift us to a divine paradigm. Today I'll be talking about the core, which is the fourth podcast, and basically it's the core, the foundation of your center. So finding your center. And this is going to include me bridging to another channel that I'm creating, because I'm trying to create a community or a network of people that are interested in doing breath work and other practices that are open for discussion. So basically, there's things in life that will throw you off balance. Things that come up in your everyday or big events that could take, many months or years to come to fruition or to come to a close. And in the interim, it's important to find our balance between getting the work done that we need to do for our self-love, for our boundaries, and also to move towards our goals. So we're all a work in progress. I don't claim to know everything, nor do I think anybody knows everything, but from what I've experienced, one of the most crucial things that I've had to learn, and I think a lot of us learn, is finding your center. What's your center? What's your reference point in this life? And it sort of comes into play with finding your authentic and true self as well. And as an alchemist doing the great work, which is over many, many lifetimes, building many experiences, which is all simultaneously happening in this now moment, as we are all things in all places at once. We are each trying to find and individualize ourself. Now, the self that I'm talking about is the I, the soul self, your soul, your individual soul expression of the divine, and how to be authentic in that and find, what makes you passionate. What are you passionate about? What gives you inspiration? What drives you to your passions, and how to balance that and how to use that and integrate that as a way of life, and in that sense, how to use that to support yourself, not just, day to day, moment to moment, but, financially and in relationships with others and self and the creator. So as we move through life, we go through transitory periods of self-discovery where we learn about ourselves and the world. And for myself personally, I grew up comparing myself to everyone, everything, and analyzing and being quiet about my thoughts and feelings about stuff, because I didn't feel I was heard as a child, or, even growing up and as a teenager. And then, that impacted my self-worth. And then the more I worked on myself and through self-development and stopped comparing myself to the outside world and to other people, I realized that, I'm an individual. And so I have to stop being attached to outcomes. I have to stop being attached to other people, because we can form unhealthy codependencies with people and all kinds of things, which give us an unrealistic expectation of an outcome which isn't for our highest good anyway. So as you move, or as I've moved through, and as everyone moves through life linearly, things get burned away, and that's alchemy. That's what alchemy is. It's a form of transmutation. You know, you're changing from one thing to another. It's a process, you know. It's a part of evolution, and we evolve through love and having self-love and unconditional love for yourself and other without being attached to outcomes allows you to be your true authentic self as everything else falls away that is not you. You get moved onto your divine path, the path you're meant to be on, the path you were always meant to be on. In an infinite universe with infinite potentials and possibilities, we are moving across one timeline, but existing in multiple timelines because, as I explained in other podcasts, we can... So my cat's distracting me. He wants to go outside. Go. You know the saying, whatever will be, will be. I don't know, I feel like it's a lyrics from a song. There's also a John Lennon song. It's John Lennon, Let It Be. Basically what we want to do, like the goal is to be on our highest timeline. And what I mean by that is the timeline that we reach our greatest potential, which is our highest vibration, because the higher our vibration, the more awareness we have, which means the more we can integrate the lessons in our life. So if we're able to integrate and learn the lessons more effectively, that means that we can produce better results day to day, moment to moment. So we can only do that by deprogramming ourselves, letting go of old thoughts and patterns of doing things, which is breaking the cycle, which is what we came here to do, is break cycles. And we do that through unconditional love, being able to let go, which sets ourselves free, but it also sets our ancestors free. It's releasing generational trauma and curses free and transmuting that into abundance for your future generations, or for our future generations, which is your future self and future selves. As the earth is an organism, it's a living being, and we're all cells in that body, and it's a mirror of our vessel, our body, which is full of trillions of cells. And each one of those cells has a role, just as each person has a blueprint or a set vibration. They're a particular perspective of a universal and infinite fractal. So for us to evolve and transcend, we must all, at some point, let go of the conditioning and allow ourselves to be free of expectations from others, so that we can become our true authentic self by burning away all that's not us. And you're left with the gold, the alchemical gold. And once you have that, in its pure form, your true authentic self, and everyone gets to that level, then we can transcend collectively. So now the point is that the key to all of it is awareness, first of all, because ego and awareness can't coexist. So the more awareness you have, the less ego you have. The more awareness, the higher the vibration. The more awareness you have, the more easily you can find your center and remain balanced. Now, you can only find your center by knowing yourself. And to know yourself, you have to look within. You have to go on let's just say a journey. I'll just call it a journey. And the journey of self-discovery is within. And once you make the adjustments within, once you gain the awareness and can be aware of the external situations and events that are a reflection and projection of your subconscious mind, then you can start to change your reality. And that sort of starts with the stories you tell yourself, because we all have stories. We're all living a myth, a legend. It's his story or her story, history, and it's written by the victor. So if you're a victim of your reality, then that's not your story. That's someone else's story they're writing for you. So what you want to do is, first of all, stop being a victim. Be aware of your circumstances and take accountability for that. And once you're accountable for your life, you can make those necessary changes. How you do that is up to you, but there's a lot of tools out there. One of the most profound and accessible tools to almost everyone, anyone that's, pretty healthy, like reasonably healthy, is breath work. Is just using the breath to release nervous tension that's built up in the nervous system, which can happen from trauma or all kinds of events, stress, anxiety. I'm not going to go into the science of it because I don't know enough about it, enough about the science, but basically the transformational breath work, there's lots of different types of breath work. So usually an effective amount of breath work to get some sort of effect, it's going to differ depending on the condition of your lungs, I'm going to assume, and your own capabilities. But I'd say about 10 to 15 minutes would be a good sort of, I want to say starting point, but even just doing it for 2 or 3 minutes or even a minute, you can see results. But to get to a level that you really start to notice something, you probably need to do it for 10, 15 minutes, depending on how intensive you're doing it. So if you can decondition yourself and remove or not removing, but you're healing trauma from your past, and you can just use breathing to do that. That's pretty powerful. There's plenty of stories, accounts of people that have had incredible, spontaneous healing. Experiences through breath work, and I myself have had a journey with mental illness. I mean, mental health, should say, because we have physical health, which can be like you can tell by looking at someone sometimes, like, not to be judgmental, but you can tell, like, there's signs that tells you that someone is physically unwell. With mental illness, there's not really any, or your mental health, there's not really any signs to tell. There's a few, but like a lot of people that probably think they're sane, they're living in delusion too, because it's like a collective delusion. So we're all pretty, I don't know, what's normal. So what I want to say is, like, I've had my own journey, my own struggles, like, since I can remember, with trying to remain grounded and find that the balance, that center, so that I'm able to remain in a state of peace within myself, no matter what's happening on the outside. And that's not like sticking your head in the sand or anything like that. It's just setting boundaries and being like, well, that's that person's energy. That event is not related to me, even though in the big picture it is, but like, just for argument's sake and for the point I'm making, you only let things affect you by allowing it to, by not having the boundary set. So, yeah. I mean, people can be rude to you and like be abusive to you, and that's obviously not okay, and you need to have boundaries there with those people. Also, if you get angry, that's valid. You can be pissed off. You can be sad or whatever. Like, your emotions are totally valid, but you don't have to react. You can respond, and you can also try to find your center and remain grounded in that. And it's like, people will do things to you, like push you, so that they can validate their own awareness, like their own level of awareness, their own reality. They will, poke you, like not literally, but figuratively, like poke at you, prod you, and like try to incite something in you to try to validate their experience by making them feel like they're okay and I'm okay. I feel good about myself because that person's having a bad time or something like that. Like, thank God I'm not that person, kind of thing. Which is an illness in itself. But yeah, I mean, like, I think we all kind of go through that at some point. But, we can only blame ourselves. And a lot of people are really unconscious. Like, they're not even aware they're doing that stuff or the effect that they're having. A lot of people live their lives unconsciously. And we use like roughly 5% of our mind. Like we're only 5% conscious and 95% unconscious. So most of the things we do, we don't know why we do it, but we just do it. And a lot of the times it's our actions, reactions is a projection of our unconscious mind, which is also a collective thing that manifests in our world. So the breath work, it allows you to become more conscious, to unlock more of your mind so that you become more aware of yourself and other. Because the more awareness you have of yourself, of course, you're going to have more awareness of the outside world and people around you, because it's a projection of your inside world. And, I can only speak from my level of reality. I know that other people may be more advanced. I'm not going to put other people on a pedestal or compare, but I'm just saying that some other people have more awareness, like they're less unconscious and more conscious, so they have a different perspective. They have also a different perception. So we all have different perceptions and perspectives of reality. I think it's just trying to become accountable for our own reality and be the change you want to see in the world. But to do that, you need to want to change, and you need to want to do the self-development and the work that it takes to transmute the shit that you're not into what you really are. So I'll probably get like more into my journey at another stage, but or just whenever it's appropriate, I just trying to be in the present moment, be in the now, and just express what I need to express now that I feel is relevant. I think my goal, like my passion, is for people to be more connected. It's hard because obviously not everyone sees things the same. So it's really hard to find connection with certain people, especially if it's just small talk. Like, I've never been one for small talk. I mean, if you had one look at my chart, my astrological chart, you would know that. I just can't be bothered with it. I'd rather just be alone. And sometimes loneliness, it's really an illusion that we're alone, but it's pretty persistent, because even if you're surrounded by people, especially if you don't connect with them, you can feel really alone. You can feel more alone surrounded by people that don't understand you or get you than actually being alone. Like if I personally was just sitting in my room or sitting down by the lake or river or something, I feel less alone. Just with myself and whoever's with me in spirit. Like just the presence of nature, or the presence of my awareness of my higher self. That's enough. I'm happy with that. But then, we need to find balance. And I don't mind socializing. Like, I enjoy talking with people as long as they're invested in the same things, you know. Like, I'm not just going to talk to someone about football, sport or something that I'm not interested in, I don't care about at all. Like, I could think of way better things to talk about, but a lot of people seem to be really invested in that, and that's cool. That's good for them. They can do that. There's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with it at all. It's just that I'm not interested in it, so I'd rather not talk to them. And if I talk to them about stuff I'm interested in, they probably don't want to listen either. So I guess the more awareness you have of who you are and what you like, the more likely you are to find people that like the same things. And we're magnets, right? Like, we're just going to attract and repel things that we desire. It just depends. Like, you're only going to get what you want if you put that out to the universe. And you're going to attract things you don't want if you are projecting that energy to the universe. Oh, that's some law of attraction 101 there. But yeah, I think if you can find that center within yourself, then it's like a safe place. It's like a place of peace where you don't need to be validated by anything. You can reset, you can recharge, you can relax. It doesn't matter what's happening outside in the world. You're still able to, feel at peace and feel centered within yourself. Yeah. I think that's all I really want to talk about. I just really wanted to talk about the fact that once you develop that level of awareness by letting go, art of non-attachment, and finding that centeredness, it's really key in staying grounded, which is important at this time. And also that, I'm in the process of making another YouTube channel, which I'm gonna do breath work. I'll be doing breath work on there, and I have a Discord already set up, so hopefully we can have a community there. I'm thinking about having paid sessions, like coaching for breath work and anything else that people are interested in, like self-development wise. So yeah, sort of a jack of all trades, so I know a little bit about a lot, which has worked well for me. Still learning, just looking at a few different things at the moment. Probably trying to do too many things, as I usually do. And I guess it's about just letting things fall away that don't serve you, so you can make room for new things. It's easier said than done. But yeah, thanks for hanging out, and I hope that you find some wisdom in what I've said, what I've talked about, what I've shared, and that if you're interested in breath work or, meditation, yoga, more, any sort of health modality, healing modalities that interest me. So yeah, I'll be posting more about that in the future once everything else is set up, and then we'll go from there. So much love. Take care. Peace.